Hello, good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are finally going back live after, 4 or 5 days or so, taking a little break, a little siesta from the flight sim, but we're back, and we're back with a special one. I do apologize for moving this from yesterday afternoon. I just had to, basically, it was Super Bowl hangover recovery day on Monday, so it was raining and just not a good day to make it into the office and do some work. So we're back. We got 2 streams today. We're loaded up. We got some fun ones coming at you, starting with one of my personal favorites, the BAE-146. Now, this airplane, I've said it from the beginning, I think it was one of the most underrated. I think it still is one of the most underrated aircrafts in the simulator. I actually think JustFlight might be one of the most underrated devs in the sim. I put him in the top 3. I put him, man, it's hard not to put him in 1. Why isn't the BAE-146 or F-28 the #1 add-ons in Microsoft Flight Sim? They are that good, and every time I get back behind the controls of the 146, I am reminded at why it is just such an awesome airplane, so fun to fly. So we're going to take this one up today. We're leaving Mike Tango Golf. I can't remember what it's called. Like a Gutierrez, and headed up to Mexico City. Should be fun. We're high altitude, high terrain. It's windy. We got some clouds. We got some low vis, which I wasn't anticipating. So we're probably going to have to be flying some airways today that we're going to load up with the FMS, which I normally always fly this airplane with VOR to VOR nav. But in light of the upcoming the 70 and the F100, and I know when they get their UNS-1, I think they're going to drop the UNS-1 into the 146 as well, or even the Avro, the RJ that's coming. So we're going to pretend that we have an FMS in this one. But here we go. It is also Fat Tuesday. Donald Led, good to see you. Waters in the house. Bomb Tech is here. Big Sierra, good to see you. McAllen in the house, good to see you, sir. Mr. Martini Harris, Kyle Ferris, AG, Carlito, Steve Zasbo, Chris Strobel, Kyle Lewis, Al W. Dougal McTavish in the house. Dougal, I hope you are sticking around. Well, I don't know. It might be too late for you. I got a real special treat coming up later this afternoon, about 5 o'clock Eastern. We'll be flying an airplane that we've never flown on this channel live before, and it is a handful, and it's fun, and I hope it's going to work out okay. But anyway, if I missed y'all's name, I apologize. Welcome to the ramp here in Mike Tango Golf. We got a cold and dark 146-100. Now, the Aviaxa? I always forget how to say this call sign. Aviaxa. This particular livery was not, they didn't have 146s, but when I go to Cancun, I see, or I used to see, a bunch of 737-200s parked there. I think they've moved them now, but they used to be parked on the ramp all the time. I don't know if they were in mothballed or just like they weren't operating them, or I'm not even sure what, but they were, there's like 3 or 4 of them, 7.3s, and I used to always go by this livery, and for some reason I wanted to fly something with this livery. We don't have a 7.3-200, so we're going to put it on the 146, and it should be fun going up to Mexico City. Aero Iglesias, exactly, Fractality, exactly. Oh man, meme on the way, Water, awesome, dude, good stuff. All right. Aero Iglesias Airlines, I know. That was something else. I think it's just Aviaxa, right? Aviaxa? I hope they give us the RJ soon. Hey, iChaser, me too, man. I cannot wait for the RJ. I really do. I hope it's soon. We haven't heard much from the RJ front, but I do too hope it's coming. Now you can see here, because we don't have hydraulic power, this is kind of blown open. But doors are open. We are ready to go to work. So let's do it. Yay, just got out of my morning meeting and time to find a V1 stream. Hey, Multi2Sim, welcome on board, my friend. Look at this absolutely beautiful, old school, round gauge airplane. I love the texturing, just looks so good. Let's go ahead and fire it up. We're gonna go, I'll tell you what, let's go battery 1, battery 2. We'll go ahead and let that power up. Let's connect the GPU for the time being. I normally go right to APU, but let's go ahead and connect that GPU. We'll go over here, aircraft. We'll go ground power. You can even hear it start up. Love the attention to detail. Absolutely love it. Thrust set, good to see you, man. Welcome on board. The Edge in the house, 37 months of support, my man. Appreciate you. Everywhere else, it's just Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras. Hey, it's Mardi Gras? I actually had no idea, man. Jeez, I must be getting old. I had no idea. Happy Mardi Gras. Well, look, hey, what a perfect timing that I did not know that at all when I scheduled the stream, but now it makes perfect sense. All right, Mexico City, Mardi Gras, it should be fun. Good morning to Aviator. Good to see you, my man. All right, we got our GPU on board. Let's go ahead and connect the... oh my gosh, I forget how to connect ground power. I normally always use external AC on. There we go. I normally always just go right into GPU power. But let's go ahead. It's gotten dark. It's gotten a lot darker on here than I anticipated. So let me go ahead and get some panel lights up first. Let's juice up this cockpit, get it nice and juicy. We've got some lights down here. We'll go ahead and, oh yeah, look at that, coming to life. Get the panel flood over there. We'll come down here and get these suckers up to forward console, aft console. That's the juice. A little bit of floodlight action. A little bit of floodlight action. Perfect. Do we need anything on here? I don't know if there's a... I think I already got that light. Okay, cool. We're loaded up. We're on GPU power. Let's go ahead and run through a basic originating flow. I'm going to go ahead and turn the nav and nits on over there. Let's go ahead and start from the top down. I normally always run the checklist on this airplane, but I've kind of gotten to the point now where I'm familiar enough with it. I've kind of come up with my own flow, and I think it flows pretty good, so we're just going to go ahead and rock from the top. So yaw damper 1 and 2, autopilot, avionics master all coming on. Ground ignition is in both. Brake fans, I'm going to leave those off right now. If you put them in auto, they'll actually kick on. I don't want that. Anti-skid is on. Auto spoiler is not an op on this 146, but on the RJ it is. So that'll be something to look forward to when they release that. Yellow and green lift spoilers, we'll turn those on. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and pressurize the hydraulics so we can deploy the stairs and open up some door, or open up the additional boarding door. All right, everything's pressurized. I'll turn the DC pump off, PTU off, and AC pump off. With that done, though, now I can come over here. We can go ahead and open the forward passenger door and the stairs. We should be able to deploy the stairs. Well, once that door's open, let's take a look. Yep, stairs. Now, if you can't deploy your stairs, it's because you need to pressurize your hydraulics. We'll get the stairs out. We'll get ready to board up here. About to heat up some taquitos. Sean Delaney, awesome, man. Good deal. Brian V, 2 years, really like watching you fly the older planes. Hey, Brian V, I'm glad you do, man, because I will never understand. I said this before in the Discord. Like, whenever I put a poll out there, and if I throw an A320 or a 737, it always wins. I will never understand why everyone wants to just see 320 and 737 content. I mean, I get it. They're awesome airplanes. They're really fun. I love them. But we have so many other good birds that I have so much more fun with. So I appreciate y'all when you like seeing the older stuff. So if you do, that leads me to my next thing. If you do like the older aircraft stuff, make sure you smash down that like button. That way we can continue to make the content for it, because that really does. That kind of drives the algorithm. You know, what videos do you like, what videos don't like. Typically 146 never gets very many views, doesn't get a lot of likes. But if you like it, make sure you do smash down that like button for me. All right, baby jumbo time. Yes, indeed. I bought P3D and refunded it 5 days later. It's so old. Rex Technology. Yeah, man, I could have told you that. Yeah, I could have told you that, my man. It's unfortunate. It just is. Just the way it is. All right, let's continue with our flow. We stopped off at the hydraulics there. We'll come down there. Crossfeed is shut. We're not going to have any fuel in there. Pumps are off. I will leave the left inner pump off for now, but we're going to turn that on for the APU start. Coming down the bottom of the overhead here, we'll turn the galley power on. We'll get the APU generator on, so when it does turn on, we'll be able to switch over. And we'll get the AC and inverters in arm position. That looks good. I can see here if I scroll over to external power, we're producing we've got a good cart there. That looks good. And I'll put you on external power as well. We're in the green. Volts and hertz are looking good there. Start power, everything stays off. Ice protection stays off. We'll arm the flight deck emergency lights. We'll turn the fasten seatbelt sign on. We'll leave all this stuff off for right now. We don't have the APU on, but we'll turn on the cabin air recirc. Let's turn on the flight deck fan and cabin fan, just because it might get a little stuffy in here. We'll arm the emergency exits. We'll turn on the no smoking signs. We'll turn on the entry and logo lights, because chicks dig logo lights. So our overhead is complete. Our airplane is alive now. You can get our nav lights, a little logo light there. Gotta love it, gotta love it. I flew twice in real life on this bird. They're pretty cool, but so cramped. Dougal, did you fly in the London City with them, man? I know, isn't that like their big, that used to be, well, I guess that's with the Avro RJ, same thing pretty much, right? As far as cabin layout, but isn't that like their big claim to fame, flying into London City on these birds? I mean, when you look at the cabin, it doesn't look too cramped, but I mean, actually, this does look pretty tight. I don't know if that's to scale, but if you're taller than 4'1", you might go numb here in your legs if you're sitting on the bulkhead row. Anyway, let's continue our flow. We're going to get off topic here. We'll go ahead and turn on our VHF stuff, our DME. We'll turn that puppy on. Scrolling across here, I will make sure this one is on as well. And then since I'm on this side of the pedestal, we're going to work our way back. I'll go ahead and power up the TMS. Now, I think there's oxygen around here somewhere, right? I got to turn the oxygen on. Main valve needs to be on. Okay, main valve is on. And then we're going to work our way back around the forward dash here. So you can do your whole push to test, all that thing, reset, ground op. That looks good. We'll go ahead and run the TMS through the testing phase. You'll see all the lights go ahead and illuminate there. London City to Innsbruck and back. Ooh, Dougal, that's a fun flight. Man, maybe you should have done that. I'm feeling a Euro Tour number 2 coming up pretty soon. Maybe when we get that 777. Maybe when we get that 777, we have to do a Euro Tour V2. Speedbed. Was the Speedbed 777 ever in the Landor livery? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they changed before 777 came out, right? All right, TMS is on and tested. That looks good. Since I'm looking at my flip chart cards here, I'm going to go ahead and select flaps 18. That'll set my bugs while I'm looking at it. We'll also power off the TMS now. That looks good. Moving away across here. Everything looks good down here. So we're going to start to program. After we turn on our 2 radios, we'll come back over here. We got 2,000 in the squawk. We'll turn on our brake temperature indicators. And we are pretty much ready to start plugging away at the flight plan. Now, I already set the weights from SimBrief. I thought there was a way to get SimBrief integration to this FMS. For some reason, I don't believe I can. I always thought there was, because I would come here, right? You go to data link, and I thought on page 2, I would be able to uplink the SimBrief flight plan, but it won't even let me change to page 2. Have you guys noticed that? Am I missing something? Is this a pilot error, or is SimBrief flight plan uplink into this FMS not simulated? I've been flying so many different airplanes I can't remember, because I know the working title CJ4 has a similar FMS and you can. So I'm going to let you guys answer that question before I start plugging it away the old school way. Does this aircraft have failures? The Lone Wolf, yes it does. I'll show you here real quick. If you come over to the aircraft selection, we go here, failures. We're going to actually turn ours on random, and we'll put it on medium probability. So I've got random failures probability medium on. You can manually arm failures, and you can actually trigger failures whenever you want to. So it does have failures. This is what I'm saying. This is a very, very complex, highly detailed, definitely study level airplane that you need to study it before you fly it, or else you're going to drive yourself crazy. Trust me. It's kind of like the ATR, but I was never enthusiastic enough about the ATR to study it until I did study it, and then it became my favorite airplane. But the BAE-146, same thing. You've got to kind of put some time in to understand how it works, how the systems works, how the autopilot works, with sync mode and all that, and then you're really, really going to enjoy it. So, all right, it does have failures, though, so that's what I was getting at. So our failures are armed. I'm going to come back to the main flight plan page, and somebody said that index route next page. That's what I thought. Index. There is no route, though. Route menu. Ah. Thank you. I knew there was. I thought there for sure there was a way to do it. Thank you, Benji. Appreciate you. So we're going to uplink from SimBrief. We'll go ahead and execute that. Now, if we look at our legs page, it does not put in the departure arrival as indicated. I'm going to go ahead and turn down this floodlight here. We don't need all that floodlight. We'll turn you up there. All right. So that looks good. The floodlight was a little bit too bright, so it does have our thing in the box. Good deal. Now we need to call. I believe Mexico is online. Let's take a quick look here at the Iveo web eye. Mexico Center is on 3600. Let's go ahead and tune them in here, see what they got. 136 I really need to get a radio panel. Of all the peripherals I have, I don't have a radio panel. It's kind of crazy, right? 13600, we're Aviaxa 357. We're going to Mexico City. Let's give them a holla. Actually, before we do that, remember when you're unfamiliar, and this is Mexico, I do this all the time, anywhere, all over Mexico, pull out your charts here, so we kind of, when he says something, I don't know if the controller has an accent or not, it can be hard to read if you don't know what they're, or hard to understand if you're unfamiliar with all of the charts. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up MMTG departure charts. Departures, oh, there's only two. So SIDS, we're going to probably be on the one we filed, the XOMO 1.
Muy buenas tardes, aquí Aeroméxico 436, corrección. Muy buenas tardes, enviando plan de vuelo.
I'm gonna need to work on my Spanish. What's the center called? Mexico Center? Yeah, it's gotta be Mexico Center.
Aeroméxico 436, repita.
No, boy, this guy's legit.
Aeroméxico 436, enviando plan de vuelo.
Is this gonna be a Germany Part 2 on Iveo? Oh boy, it is Aviaxa, right?
436, autorizado Kilo Mike Charlie Oscar, route plan de vuelo. Hacienda vía Noxus 2 Alpha para nivel de vuelo 390, transpondedor 4400.
Frankfurt. Number 2. This is why I don't fly outside the U.S. I can't understand accents at all. Let's give it a shot. Mexico Center, good afternoon. Aviaxa got 357. Like to get our clearance to Mexico City. Flight direct maroon.
Avianca 357, make your control, stand by.
They call me Avianca. It's Aviaxa, right? My anxiety just spiked. This happens in real life. It sure does.
Aeroméxico 436.
I think it's Aeroméxico on I'm half deaf from the explosions. I barely hear the English. It's funny, Bontech, I just had to turn up my Iveo. Like I never had to turn up VATSIM. I have to turn up Iveo because I'm scared. Yes, local airlines talking their native English. That is very true to real life.
Avianca 357, cleared to Mexico, flight turn route, climb to flight level 320, squawk 2621.
Alright, clear to New Mexico City code and route flight level 320, squawk 2621, Aviaxa 357.
Avianca 357, rate back correct.
Are we found as Avianca? Is AVI Avianca? Did I mess that up? All right, 2621 on the squawk code. Let's do that before I forget. 2621. I'll put it on XPDR mode. 2621 is set on the transponder. Current route, so I want to blast off northbound, right? I think that's what the winds were doing.
20 miles per Roger.
If we look here, blasting off north on the XOMO 1, so if I go to taxi chart 10-9, that's going to be runway 35. Let's see what the winds are doing. Let's go to the OFP, refresh the winds. Right now, METAR says 310 at 12. Perfect. So that'll work out. We're going to go ahead and go to the departure arrival index 32, execute. Now, what's awesome is apparently our SID is not in there. It's not in the box. So we might have to fly this old school way. I try to get away from doing radio nav on this flight. But let's take a look here. Let's make this flight plan. So we got to go out to XOMO. Basically, climb on the TGZ 327 to 11 DME, then turn left and proceed on the 14 DME arc to TGZ 266 to XOMO. Oh my word. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw this in here. Tuxtla is the VOR 115.7. Let's go ahead and put you in nav 1, which is going to be up here 115.7. Let's go ahead and throw you on 115.7. That's active. There's our VOR. and it's the radial 327 to 11 DME. So let's go ahead and set course line 327. That looks close. I forgot it's up here. 327, and we're going out to 11 DME, and I'm going to put the second one in here as well because we're not using nav2 on it. We only need one radio really for this departure, so we'll put 15.7 here for my easy DME mode. I know I can hold it, but we'll do 15.7 here, and I'm going to put this on that other radial, which is supposed to be the 266. So I'm going to put nav2 course line on 266. So theoretically, I could go nav1 and then nav2. So we could go like this: nav1, split, and then nav2, 266. Look at that. Working like a charm. I'm going to run it split right now, though, because I'm single pilot. I feel like this makes it a little bit easier when I'm single pilot. So I can go 327. I know what I'm navving with here, and then I can peek over here. I know what I got to join over here for the outbound to Exomo. Now, hopefully, we can maybe just pick up a direct 2 or somewhere on there. All right, that all looks good, chat. I think I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU. We're going to go left inner tank pump on, and the APU start switch on, and we're going to spin it up. And we need to send the folks over. Let's board them up. Turn 10, twist 10, my favorite. Hey, Tower Ray, how you doing, man? What is split? Bomb tech. So split on that means I can have two separate, I'm running two separate nav radios, nav 1 and nav 2 separately. So if I move it to nav 1, it will then put the nav 1 course on the first officer side. But since it's a single pilot, no one's sitting over there looking at it. So I don't need him, my fake first officer, to see what I'm navving at. If I run it in split mode, I have an independent nav 1 and independent nav 2. If I were to switch it to nav 2, then my side is going to show his course radial and VOR on my side, which is going to be helpful when we're on that arc and then I want to join that 266 radial, because I can be on nav 1 arcing, and then as soon as I get close to that 266, I can go nav 2, and then it'll show my CDI will spin over to that 266 radial that's already pre-selected on his side, and we track it outbound. So it's really meant for two-pilot operation, but because it's single pilot, obviously, in Flight Sim, it's easier for me to just run it in split. Watching while on approach to Cancun on Southwest 1995. Hey, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it is call sign Aviaca. Aviaca. Oh, so the S is silent. Aviaca. Aviaca. You should fly African countries with Iveo. Pilot Alex, I really want to do an little mini Africa tour. I do. We might go to South Africa when the 777 releases. We'll see. All right, our APU is online. Let's do... I can check that by going here. We've got good volts and amps. So with the APU online, I'm going to go ahead and turn off external power. You can see that it's picked up the load here on the GPU. All right, and now we can turn him off. So let's go over here and disconnect the ground power. Also make it a little bit quieter. We don't have to listen to that. I'm going to reset you. We'll get our flight directors after start. He gave us a straight climb all the way to 320, which seems a little aggressive for this flight. We might have to change that, but we'll see here. You're going to love shared cockpit when they get it work. Dude, Zippy, I've been waiting. I know there's some options, but I would love having a legit shared cockpit software for Microsoft. I really hope that's going to... I think there's some out there, but I don't know how good they actually work, so... I would love it, though. It'd be cool. I'll get the yaw damps on, and we'll go ahead and turn on pack 1, pack 2, get the APU air on, get some cooler air up in here. We're going to put our cruise altitude up over here on the overhead. Can the B make it to 32? I don't know, Nikki. I tell you what, in the climb out, we're going to request to stop at 28. Let's go to 280. So I'm going to set 280. I've got 32 here, but I don't even think we can make it to 32. So we're going to just go ahead and we're going to request the final altitude of 280. It's not that long of a flight. It's only going to be about 370 miles en route. So by the time we reach top of climb, we're only going to have about maybe 40 or 50 miles before we need to start a descent prep. So we got bags loading up. I'm not sure where the people are. I don't know if the buses are coming or they're not coming. That's fine by me. Maybe they were supposed to, maybe they're trying to jump off the jet bridge. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But we're loaded up. We're loading. Our box is set. Actually, we'll come over here. We'll put this into 5 and standby. Let it warm up. Put the range out to 100. 5-degree tilt up. I think it's going to be 5-degree tilt low. Maybe it's up or low. We'll have terrain ready to go there as well. All right. Everything else looks good. Now we can get back and hang out. Some of the terrain is abysmal in Africa. Looks like FSX. Ah, that's unfortunate. Did Africa ever get, or any part of Africa get a world update? I did some transall flying in Africa when it came out on my own. What's the picture on the tail? I actually don't know what that is. The 100 series can do 35, but it takes a week to get there, says Rob. Alright. So we're going to just set 28, because we don't have a week to get up to 32,000 feet. We only got 300 and something miles en route today, so. Team Vodka in the house, dropping a massive 20 gifted memberships. Team Vodka's in a good mood because he's got a little something something in the mail. Team Vodka, dude, appreciate the massive donation and support on the channel. If y'all pick one up from Team Vodka, he's a legend around here. Make sure you say thank you, and you now have permission to cut him off whenever he's flying on IVEO or ATSIM. As long as you're on Team Green, you're good to cut off Team Vodka on final. So appreciate you. Very kind of you, man. Very, very generous to support the channel. I had the alert box off, and Mike P also... Mike P, sorry dude, I hope you're still here.
Wasn't this supposed to be a US airstream? There's a bunch of ballots must have been found in the middle of the night.
Mike P, my man, I'm sorry I missed this. I had the alert box muted there at the beginning of the stream. I appreciate that $15 bank angle check. Yeah, they found there was a lot of ballots in the middle of the night, plus my vote counts for 51%. So I figured we're going to go the Dash 100. The Dash 200 is so mid. Everyone loves mid aircraft. Everyone loves the Dash 800. Everyone likes the A320. Everyone likes the 777. Everyone wants to be mid. No one wants to go on one side of the spectrum. But very kind. Appreciate you, Mike P. And thank you, Team Vodka, for all the support, man. Very kind of you. It arrives tomorrow. Ooh. I'm best going to have to upload some profiles then. I have to finish that. King Air profile. Need to get working on that so you can modify them all. All right. I have to send a message back to Mexico Center here, just make sure I have the right call sign. Long John Silvers, man, good evening. Welcome on board. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't need this anymore, so I'll go ahead and message that. I watched you fly the 727 yesterday, a nifty tail strike with the ladder hanging down. What? When did I have a tail strike on the 727 Bontech? I call fake news. Fake news, Bontech. I don't have a tail strike on the 727, or did I? I'm a little bit concerned that we don't have any passengers showing up yet. What's up with that? They're almost done with the bags. Maybe the passengers are all on board? How about those Chiefs Sunday night? Whew. Water, what a game, man. AVIA CSA. Alright, I'm just chatting with the controller, making sure I got the right call sign here. I filed the wrong 3-letter IKO, so working on getting that straightened out. Yeah, I'm checking them, Team Vanka. GSX being GSX. Actually, everything's there. It was a Piedmont virtual airline stream? Oh. Did we tail strike Piedmont 727? Alright, yeah, it's still, we're Aviaxka, but I filed the wrong 3-letter, but we're good to go. Alright, it's time to get rolling, chat. Let's close it up shop here. So I'm going to go ahead and pressurize. We'll go PTU. That's coming on. That's coming on. We're going to close up the forward cargo, aft service, aft passenger. Bring in the stairs. Stairs are coming in. Great game at the Swifty Bowl. I was understanding. I was about that. Oh. Alright, we're all squared away. Let's close up this last door. We'll close that up, and I'm gonna load the airplane here. So that's gonna go auto. DC pump is gonna stay off. And engine 2, engine 3 pumps are on. Alright, so for start, we're going to get our fuel tank pumps on. We're going to get our anti-ice open. This is for torque on the engine start, so that's normal. We're going to go ahead and shed the galley power. No more coffee for you. Coming up the backside here, let's go ahead and turn off the packs. Let's go ahead and kill the APU air. And we'll get our beacon on. And we'll go ahead and kill the entry light, no longer needed. Oh, we are ready for engine start. So we'll kill you. And let me just make sure I did hit the, put you in pounds here. And click this and we'll move the trim wheel for us. All right, so we are ready to go. We need to go nose left, I believe. And we also need to pull those chocks. So brakes are set. Chocks are removed. And we're ready to go. All right, we are ready for pushback. You've got mail. I noticed you posted it in the After Dark. Oh, great. I think I vaguely remember that. When we were doing Piedmont, it was like the first, was it the first day of the Piedmont virtual airline? And we had a tail strike on Piedmont 727. That's never a good deal. Alright. Cafe con leche is tasting delicious. They're going to hook up the tug here. Maybe the passengers are walking from the far side. I guess they already loaded. I just didn't see them. We were busy fumbling around with our flight plan, so. But we're good to go. We're boarded up. We're ready to get out of here. 30 minutes, not bad. Gotta love the TLD tugs and their tiny cabins. And had an APU gen failure as well. Yeah, I missed the 727. Man, FlyJ Sim, I wish they could just commit to moving. FlyJ Sim and Tolis. Gosh, if they would just commit to moving to Microsoft, I would, it'd be awesome. Nose left, tail right, please. Brakes are released, ready to push. Dude, this guy's accent's legit. I love it. All right, we are good to start. So we're gonna go start power, norm, start master on. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually, it should be on norm, not external DC. So start power, norm. Here we go. Number 4, turn at 4. Engage. Whisperjet. Ooh, BAE or Fokker, which one's better? Oh, man. It depends on what you want to do, man. Honestly, they're both amazing. I love them both. If you want a visceral sound set, the Fokker F-28, because it's a really loud, visceral airplane as far as sounds are concerned. They don't call the 146 the Whisperjet for nothing. I mean, it's quiet. It's supposed to be. We're starting up 4 APUs. Now I want to make sure my... Did that actually... No, it did not. Oh, I thought I added fuel. Brake set, clear disconnect. What do you guys think? If you own the Fokker and the BAE, what's your favorite when it comes to the two? They're just two, they're so different. The F-28 is, I think, much more to manage as far as the flying aspect. A little bit more punishing. The 146 is so forgiving. I mean, she's a big, high wing, but there's, I don't know. It's more complex. The 146 is more complex with systems, I believe. That's how I would say it. We got a good start on 4. We're starting 3. Thrust said I did make a Bruner profile. I'm still working on it. I'm having, I won't say an issue, but so every airplane I'm learning talks a little bit differently to the sim, which then talks a little bit differently to the CLS to sim software. So with the autopilot on the 146, if I make the yoke follow the heading bug in the 146, it starts to oscillate. So I've turned that part off, and I don't know if there's a workaround to that yet or not. But most of the profile is pretty much done for the 146 too. All right, we got 2 good starts. Let's go right to number 2. Fire it up. Are there any 146s still in operation? I don't know if 146s. I know the Avro, the RJ is, which is a little bit more modern version, which JustFlight is making as well. So.
Switch with Unicorn 1 to decimal 8. Thank you very much for your service. 9207 Papa Yankee.
There's light off on number 2. My dad flew RJ-185s in the year 2000. He always described the airplane as like flying a fat cat. Mysterious Mr. T. That's crazy, man. That's a very interesting way to describe it. How many engines they use to taxi? I think they use all 4. Just because it's got 4 engines doesn't mean it's very powerful. Alright, start it out. Let's go ahead, last one. Turn it open. Let's watch this one from the inside like pro pilots. Go ahead and monitor the N1. Dale, is it you've probably seen a 146, but I would guess you're seeing an Avro. About 20%. Fuel on. There's fuel flow. Light off. N2 is on the rise, baby. There is some, yeah, fire service, Nikki. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Cal Fire has a bunch. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that. I think it's Cal Fire. There's a couple of good liveries for it, too. I saw the FSTO. Turn down these lights a little bit. All right, starter valve light is closed. That's good. We'll go ahead and depower you. Starter master power is off. I'm going to go ahead and go generator 3. Generator 4 is online. We don't need anti-ice anymore. We'll kill those. Ice detect is coming on. These are all on. That looks good. I'm going to leave engine air off for takeoff. We'll leave APU air on. Packs on. Cabin air looks good. Basically what this does is for performance. So performance permitting, and I don't know how the SOPs are in different airplanes, but it's almost like doing a packs off takeoff. We don't want to use any bleed air from the engines for this takeoff because we want to use the engines for their power. If we had, you could turn the APU air off and run engine air for takeoff. It would just be dependent on what your perf data set. But I'm kind of curious to try it without that. We'll do the APU shutdown after takeoff. So APU is going to be running. We got APU air on, engine air off, packs are on. Everything else looks good on the overhead. Let me come back over here, make sure I didn't miss anything. That all looks good. And let's extend flaps to 18. Is that a 7.4? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, there's probably still some in Canada. Trying to sim down a little bit. According to Wikipedia, there's still 31 146 in operation, along with 42 RJs. Nice. Zippy, no, pro pilots don't do that. All right, what do we have down here? We've got flight recorder and parking brake. That's normal. So everything is set. I'm going to go flight director on. We're going to go ahead and get GA altitude arm. Go around is set. Let's look at our. Hold on. Let's look at our chart real quick here. What are we going to do again? We got to fly track, climb via the 327 radial. So you basically take off and follow the 327 radial outbound to 11, then a left turn. So I'm guessing our heading is going to be about here. And we'll do our best. All right, we're ready to taxi. Mexico Center, Aviax 357 ready to taxi.
Aviax 357, runway 1, correct on runway 33, UNH 3018, taxi via Alpha, back turn runway 33, line up and wait.
Alright, runway 33, taxi via Alpha, backtrack, line up and wait 33 for Aviax 357. Alright, we're going to backtrack.
Aviax 357, UNH 3018.
3018, Aviax 357. Taxi line, oop, that's landing. Taxi is in the forward position. Let's go. Now I think I have my tiller on. Yes. Tiller bound, correct. Yes. Rudder is not bound, correct. Let's do a flight control check here from the outside view. Oh yeah, there we go. Roll spoilers. Elevator. Beautiful. Rudder. Excellent thing. You finally bit the bullet on the TBM? Man, what a machine. It's zippy. Dude, I'm happy to hear that, man, because I love that TBM. I know people, like, there are certain airplanes that I know when I fly or when I recommend them, and if people pick them up, I know, like, you're 100%. You cannot not love this airplane. Ooh, a little bumpy on this taxiway. TBM's awesome. We need to get back in the TBM. We need to do a TBM and chill. We're due for TBM and chill. All right, so Alpha is going to be out. Hold up. Okay, Alpha. All right. It looks a little bit different. Yeah, Alpha to 3-3. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're good. Why are we stuck? Go. What happened to normal airliners on this channel? Seems like a shift over the last month or so. Ted, I'm just so tired of the normal 737 and A320. I was burned out on it, man. There's so many other good airplanes in Microsoft. So many. PC-12. I'm gonna keep the PC-12 hangared until it gets an update. Actually, I think it got one recently, right? Maybe it did get one recently. All right, we're gonna get them seated. Oh, we never powered up the TMS. We need to power that puppy up. Power up the TMS. Takeoff 92.1 is what we're looking for. Our speeds are set. We're looking good. TBM and PC-12 still in a crisis with turbo. Joe Plains Tower Ray, man. I'm gonna recommend the TBM. I feel like you're gonna get more, or I don't feel like you get more for your money with the TBM. You have a full-blown failure system. You have just the maintenance, the wear and tear on parts. You know, the PC-12 is gonna get there. That's what they've said. But it's just not there yet. Actually, I wonder if they taxi with a crosswind correction on a BAE-146. Got a pretty stiff crosswind from the right. So I would recommend the TBM over the PC-12. Now, unless you're just a hardcore PC-12 lover, you're still going to love the PC-12.
220 Mejía confirmed.
But I feel like it's a bit of a shell right now for me. The PC-12 is kind of like a shell. It's a hollow airplane. You can't damage it, and I feel like with turboprops especially, you have to have some sort of damage. With turbo, you know, airliners is one thing, jets is one thing, but a turboprop and piston, if you don't have damages or mechanical irregularities modeled, I feel like you're just not getting the experience, because that's what makes jets so much easier to fly, is you don't really have to worry as much as you know, as over torquing, over temping. You got FADEX and all these, you know, high tech stuff. The core fundamental piloting skills comes from pistons and turboprops, and a lot of them you really got to be careful on how you manage them. So having, you know, the Comanche's got that. Would you ever do a helicopter stream, Donald? I would. I love doing. I've actually done a few. I've done a few Apache streams before on DCS. All right, we don't need to backtrack. I think there might be a backtrack in real life here, but this is kind of an oddball airport, so. All right, runway 32. That's going on. That's going on. Those are on. Wing lights, strobe lights. We're ready. We are ready. Yeah, there's something about this airport that definitely makes it think it's really not maintained well either, because so when you see my sim, it's not, my yoke's not moving anymore, it's only when we're rolling, so it reads data on the sim on the type of surface. Runway 33, clear for takeoff, copy access 357. Oh, we'll get back to that. Anyway, Yoga's in chat. Here we go, spool them up, Viddy.
TMS set to take off.
Waiting for those 4 blue lights to go out. Looking for 92.1.
Power set and watching.
A little bit of a crosswind correction here.
Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots cross checked. V1. Rotate. V2.
Positive, gear up. Fly with, watch your ears. We gotta turn the sim down, I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. For the whisper jet, it's a little bit loud. Ooh, a little bit swirly down here. Alright, we're gonna track outbound until 11 miles. I'm gonna come to the right a tad. See, we're only 0.4, so we're pretty much right on the VOR. Now we're tracking her outbound.
Aviaxa 357 radar contact.
Aviaxa 357. Alright, so now we're going to come down here. We're going to engage autopilot. I'm going to engage sync mode. And I'm going to lower the nose about 5 degrees. Sync mode off. We're pitch roll. I'm going to select heading. Now we're going to start the accelerator. What's up? 2.2 for 11 miles. I love that.
BAE-147 request departure clearance to Aurora International Airport.
BAE-147 vehicle clear to my Golf Tango via Tuxtla 1 Bravo departure. Tuxtla, offer Alpha 552 cabin.
Oh, wait until about 250 knots.
Tuxtla level 270, squad 4015.
I'm going to run this bug up. Go sync mode here a little bit, lower that nose just a little bit more, come to the right a tad. Sync mode is off. Let's go IAS hold. So we're heading IAS hold.
And get left.
Now she's going to start pitching up, and we also got to bring that power back down. About 89. So I'm going to go ahead and select sync mode on the TMS. 89% on N1, on number 1, so the other 3 will follow. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and get our engine air on. APU air is off. We'll leave the APU on for now in case we got to do emergency return. Alright, we're in heading mode. I'm going to heading mode us over to the right a tad. Alright, now at 11 miles, we got to start the arc back to the left. Yes. 11 miles to Exomo. So there's 10.5. Let's go ahead and start the turn, actually. We flew past that arc a little bit already. Right now I can move my course. We're going to make it about 300. Because I already we zoomed past that. I should have started the turn at like 10. Oh, man, look at that though. That is pretty sweet. Oh, look at that. That looks sweet. Alright, let's go back full screen cam as we climb out here. Oops. Yes. Hush yourself. Alright, so we overshot that arc by 3 miles. I gotta reset my course here. Keep coming back. Now, if we look, remember it was the 266. So I can see over here the 266 is getting close. So I'm gonna instead of level it off here, we're not gonna chase it back inbound. I'll just set 266 on my nav 1. So 266 now is set up with nav 1, and it's almost alive. We arced it like 12 miles on that one. It wasn't a great arc. Wait for that CDI to come alive, and then there's 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and go sync mode. I'm going to lower the nose again, about 2.5 degrees there, maybe 500 feet per minute. Oh, I need to put it in pitch mode. Shoot, I forgot how to do that. Drawing a blank. I forget how to keep it in I just can't do vertical speed, so I'll just go back to sync mode. We'll run this up about 270. I think I need to disengage IAS. There we go. Disengage IAS mode. There we go. Now it's in pitch hold mode and we can continue to accelerate. Alright, we're 11.4 miles. Come a little bit to the right. I wanted, yeah, I could have done vertical speed, but I wanted to stay in pitch mode. That's what I was going for. Had to disengage. Okay, there's our CDI is alive. Let's start our turn to intercept. And we're probably close enough now. We're 9 from Exomo. So what we can do, as we're in heading mode, I'm going to leave it in heading mode. I'm going to move this to nav. And I'm going to redirect us to Exomo. So I'm going to select direct, Exomo, so execute LNAV, and now we are waypoint, LNAV, pitch. So we're still in pitch hold mode as we continue to accelerate. And bring back that N1 a little bit, it's creeping up on me right about 89. And that seems about 270-ish knots, that's close enough. So with us like that, I will now engage speed hold. And now it's just going to continue to climb out. And we're tracking on FMS nav now. Beautiful. Alright, now I'm going to turn down the whisper jet because she's a little loud. Whew, a great Paro freeware just released. I think I have a payware. I think I have a payware one. Sometimes flight sim looks so real that I nearly forget that it's a sim. I hear you, man. Especially Microsoft. Especially Microsoft. A little bit of an S-turn here because we're a little bit tight on that, but we're fine. We're naving to Exomzo. After that, it's IZT. We are looking good. We're at 270 knots. We're climbing out 1,000 feet per minute. Our power is set. Chat. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight as we climb out over Mexico City. Or not Mexico City. Climb out over, I don't know where we are, but headed to Mexico City. Yeah, Joe Plains, that was a fun one, man. That one was, that one was a little bit more, should have probably practiced that one once or twice. But hey, if we're never practicing the departure, I like it. It flies so well, man. The 146, even, I mean, it flies even better because, you know, obviously force feedback. But the just the flight model, even when, day one when I bought it, I think I started flying it with the Honeycomb Alpha, and then I bought it with, or then I bought the TCA Boeing yoke. Even with both those yokes, it just hand flies so well. And I noticed that on day one, the first takeoff I ever did, because this was, I think this was the first airliner to release, right? First like third-party true quality airliner. And I was like, oh man, the flight model is just going to be the canned Microsoft flight model. Because up until that point, we hadn't really had any releases on Microsoft. I think the CRJ was out, but the CRJ flight model is... So I wasn't expecting a whole lot. But man, because I was spoiled by the X-Plane 11 version. If y'all remember, we did the 146 day in the life of a regional pilot. We had, I think it was like a 7-hour stream. We did 3 stops, hit a mid-air wall in South Lake Tahoe, an X-Plane. But I was like, I'm spoiled from X-Plane 11. I don't know how it's going to feel in Microsoft. And boy, was I wrong. That first rotation was just whew, perfect. I think today will be my last flight with the Alpha. Ooh, Team Vodka. I think so too, man. I think today is the last flight with the Alpha. I might just shelve that puppy. All right. I think we're above... Nope, it's 3008. Still got to go a little bit more. We're climbing out. 89 is set. I forget what our... There's like I think it's 850 or 830 TGT. We're still 89.90. We're looking fine there. I love the old HF aerials. Oh, our lights. We got to turn our lights off. Let's go ahead and kill those. Kill those. Come back up top here. We'll go ahead and kill the wing and the logo. Everything else stays on. Beautiful. She's a handful. She's a handful to fly, but once you get it down, she's so forgiving in the flight model that it almost has to be. Like, there's so much going on, especially single pilot with sync mode and your pitch modes, your LNAV modes, your twisting, turning 10, you're splitting the nav radios, all of that stuff. It's awesome. It's just awesome. I'll make sure my hydraulics. I did turn on the hydraulics. Yes, I did. Okay, so we're clear of 10,000. Let's go ahead and stop the APU. APU is going to go ahead and shut down. Now I have to set up. There is a climb checklist. Altimeter, PTU, and AC pump both off. That's what I need. PTU and AC pump both off. So PTU and AC pump off. That's APU low oil, that's normal. So everything else is on. I think DC pump stays on, right? Yeah, DC pump stays on. That's off. Looking good. Pass the seatbelt slide test required. Descent page, we'll leave it there. PTU, pressurization, briefing, and bugs. Ooh, speaker. What's the speaker do? I'm gonna turn the speaker on. A little choppy today. Climbing out. Ooh, there's some beaches out there too. Let's sit in here for a minute till we get up to cruise, and then we'll turn that seatbelt sign off. Surprised we haven't heard from the controller. I think it's a quiet afternoon. Let's take a look here at the web eye. Yeah, it's a quiet. There's a couple. No, there's actually there's one. There's half a dozen planes in Mexico airspace right now. He's doing center control. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 birds in the center right now. Down here in Mexico. Something's going on in Miami. There's a ton of traffic in Miami right now. 3 or 4 airplanes, a bunch of heavies. All right. You took the Fenix into Pero last week, Dougal? Those engines sound like E190s? A little bit. They're smaller and less... actually... Yeah, they're smaller than the 190 for sure. I think the 175 might be getting close. Everett's Air Alaska is upgrading its fleet to the 146? Wow. That'd be a sweet livery. I was really hoping, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in y'all for voting for not doing a Amerijet cargo ops in the 146. Any chance we get to do sketchy cargo operations, and y'all just vote for mid US Airways -200s. Oh, that's kind of a cool shot. Yeah, definitely some turbulence going on here today. Rocking around. It's a rocky to sleep in the 146. Oh, we do need a call for a final altitude. What do we want to stop at? 28? Yeah. Mexico Center, Aviaxca 357. We'd like to request flight level 280 as our cruise altitude, please.
Aviaxca 357, stop climb at flight level 280.
We'll stop the climb at flight level 280, Aviaxca 357. Thank you. Alright, yeah, we're going to go to 28 as a final. I'd have to keep our seatbelt signs on today. Alright, 280 is set. Wish there was a little better ortho down there. You can see this. Yeah. As we get up towards Mexico City, though. As we get up towards Mexico City, it'll be sweet. I do have a pay where Mexico City as well. Sure, the APU doesn't wind down that quickly. I assume the off switch position switches the instrument center for the APU. I don't know. It should spool down pretty quick, man. It's pretty small. I think it spools down pretty quick. It's a very tiny APU in there. It is definitely choppy today. If there's one thing Boeing's good at, it's braking. I mean braking. We go Team Vodka brought the 7.8 in there. Well, yes, he also the 789. Now I don't know if you'd be able to get a 777 in there. It would be tight. I do have a bet with Mark. He says I can't get the 777 in there, but I think we're gonna try. I know somebody that took the MD-11 in the Imperial and it didn't go well. that would be MD-11. You talking an X-plane? Man, that MD-11 X-plane. It had a great. I mean, it flew pretty nice. We took it into Tonkan. Remember that? We had a was it like a 5 feet per minute landing or something? An absolute greaser into Tonkantin in the MD-11. That was fun. How difficult is it to learn a plane like the 146 with only 320 experience previously? Epil, it's not difficult. It's just a little bit tedious. But what makes it way easier is the interactive checklist. I highly recommend, if you pick up the 146, pick up the, go through this, and look, if you go here, it'll show you, oh, well, we know where that is. Look, it shows you where the switches are. So you can click the little eyeball, and you run through the checklist like this, and you use the eyeball to find stuff, and that's really gonna make your way around the cockpit much more familiar to you. And once you do that, like 3 or 4 times, you're gonna understand. Okay, I see what's going on here. And so JustFlight makes it really, really nice with that interactive checklist. I use that pretty much every single flight up until recently to kind of find my way around the cockpit because you need it. But it makes it way easier with that system. But it's worth it too. So With 320 experience previously, though, you're going to have to just throw everything you know about flying the 320 away, because I don't think any of it is going to apply in the 146 as far as 320 systems are concerned, because everything is, it's so unique here in the 146. There's really not a lot of similarities. Now, what the other thing you're going to have to bind is the sync button, the sync mode. So on the real yoke, it's this button right here. This, I believe it's this one, this top down. You press it, and basically what sync mode does is it allows you to hand fly the airplane with it depressed, and when you let go of the sync mode, your flight director is going to lock in on what you left off as far as your pitch. And I don't know if it does roll. I think it's as far as pitch is concerned. So if you, for climb out, basically you're in Toga about 10 degrees, right? And then when you go to climb, you go sync mode, lower the pitch to 5 degrees, and then sync mode off, and now you're climbing out at 5 degrees, and you let the airspeed increase, and then you can do a speed hold climb out. But that sync mode...
In this frequency, I'm disconnecting right now. I'll be back in 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So, frequency change approved.
All right, frequency change approved. Sweet. I'll just leave, well, we'll flop over to 22.8 for the time being. We'll have to check before we come back. We'll go to the 122.8 for now, Unicom. But that sync mode binding is called toggle afterburner. That's the big one you need. Toggle afterburner for sync mode. And then once you get that bound, then it's just kind of learning the systems. But it's 100% worth it. I've yet to know anybody in the chat or anybody in the Discord tell me that, hey, I picked up the 146 and I hate it. I really have. I don't think anybody has said that, or yeah, 146, I'm not really loving it. Everybody that's picked it up and has flown it and has taken the time to learn it, I'm going to bring the car back just a little bit more, get a little bit high there. They've all seemed very happy with it. This is kind of a cool view, though, going off to the left here with those. Ooh, there's some juiciness right there. Thought of picking up the Cow's DA-42. Nabil, I saw that popped out. Ah, man, G1000. I'm allergic to G1000, Nabil. I am allergic to G1000s in the sim. It does look good, though. You know, what's funny, I never flew the DA-42. I never once flew the DA-42. That was after my time in instruction in Light Twin. I was a Seminole. When I was going through training, we all learned on Piper Seminoles, PA-44. So the Diamond, the Twin Star, that came out after me, after I'd already moved on to bigger and better things. So I never, ever got to fly one. I saw them. I saw them on a ramp a couple times. I've seen them. I know Embry-Riddle and Daytona Beach got a whole bunch of them. I was in Florida. I was in Daytona, and I saw the bunch of new fleet airplanes coming in. So I don't have a connection to the DA-42. But from what I've heard and what I've seen, people seem to really love it. PA-44 for the win. Hey, yeah, that's the man's twin right there, Multi-to-Sim. The man's twin is the PA-44. Oh, that's probably not going to age well. I'm sure I'll get some comments on that one. Anyway, sounds cool. I might need to give it a go once I get myself a yoke, because I feel like flying a yoke aircraft with an Airbus side stick is illegal on many levels. Hey, FLE? Yes. Depending on what side stick you have, especially. If you have a quality side stick, like the Thrustmaster magnetic base, maybe you have the Thrustmaster Warthog, maybe you have a Verpal, you could probably get away with it. I mean, I know there's a ton of y'all in chat that fly with side sticks only. But it's getting that yoke is game-changing. Flying yoke aircraft with a yoke is game-changing in of itself when you come from a side stick. Now, if you go to the yoke, if you're going the yoke route, you know, I just recently, for the first time, got to mess around with a Velocity 1 in person. Long story short, how a friend of the family and whatever, he had a sim set up and he wanted me to check it out, so I was looking at it the other day, and he had a Velocity 1. And it is the Velocity 1, right, that has the throttle attached to it. It's had the throttle on the side. That's Turtle Beach Velocity 1, right? Now, that, as far as, an all-around first yoke, I was very impressed with that. It's, in light of Honeycomb and how my situation with my Alpha went around, like, I would lean towards that over the Honeycomb Alpha, definitely. It had everything you need right there. It had the throttles, had the mixtures, all in one. I was more impressed with it than I thought I was going to be. That's for sure. But yeah, getting a yoke from a side stick, man, you'll be amazed at how much you're going to sim for like 24 hours straight. Exactly. It's okay to be a man. We don't have to act like women. There you go, Bonte. Okay. You have to use the G1000, or can you use steam gauges? As far as the DAOs or the cows, DA42, I'm not sure. I don't believe there's any DA42s that have round cage. I could be wrong. Maybe y'all in chat can let me know. I'm pretty sure all the Twin Stars are all glass, right? That would be interesting to have a round gauge Twin Star. I'm enjoying my Bravo. Oh yeah, Andre Henry. I'm enjoying my Bravo too. You saw it today. I got my Bravo up. The Bravo, awesome. My Honeycomb Alpha, I had issues from after about 2 months. I had issues with my port, that little port on the yoke, and the button stopped working. Yeah. But not everybody had the same experience. So maybe it was more of a quality control issue, because I know some folks that just, yeah, my Team Vodka, I mean, he has Alpha. He loves his Alpha. I couldn't even fly the Cessna 310 with my Honeycomb Alpha after about 2 months, because the trim would cut out because the port got loose with that cable, and then it was so stiff from the get-go. I thought it would loosen up over time. It never did. It was I had such a stiff pitch axis. I can see water running with all these phrases here. The pitch axis was so stiff that it made it very difficult to even fly like twins. I was flying with the trim all the time, and that's not how you fly twins. You don't fly with the trim. You put the airplane in trim, and then you fly with the yoke. But my Alpha was not very conducive to that. That Velocity 1 that I messed around with the other day, I was very impressed. Very impressed. Fractality says Velocity 1 versus Thrustmaster Boeing yoke. Thrustmaster Boeing yoke over the Velocity 1. I want to say if you have a throttle quadrant, because the Velocity 1 with the throttle quadrant is pretty cool. If you don't have a throttle quadrant, it's going to be kind of challenging to fly with the yoke, and then those two little throttles on the bottom of the yoke. But yokes, just yoke specifically, Fractality, Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, man. That pendular motion, awesome. Awesome stuff. And why the pendular motion is awesome is not because pendular motion is what the 7.3 has, 146 has. It's not it. It's because it allows you to have super fine control in that pitch axis when you're flaring. Such small, like there's no stiction, there's no center dead zone, if that makes sense. I mean, there is a little bit of a not dead zone, or like a little bit of a detent zone. There's not even, I wouldn't say detent, but you know what I mean. When you do regular push-pull yoke, it stays there at that neutral position. It's really hard to make fine control movements around the center point. With pendular motion, man, it's game-changing. The reason force feedback is fine with push-pull is because there is no center point. So, if you have to put them out, I'd go force feedback, Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, and then the Velocity. Dougal says the pitch on your Alpha is stiff too. Yeah. The software for the Brunner yoke is $500. Rex, you don't need the software unless you're running professional sim. So the software, you register your yoke, and you don't need to purchase a software license with it. So I thought that initially too. I thought, I needed to buy a, that turned me away. I was like, I'm not going to spend $500 on software. You don't do that. It's included with your yoke. If you're doing a professional simulator, then yes, you need to do a, I guess like a flight school license, right? Kind of like, what is it, like the P3D had the different licensing stuff. Let's sit back and cruise here. It's smooth enough. Let's go ahead and kill the seatbelt sign. We'll let them roam for now. You're now free to move about the cabin. Oh, there's a view for you. Easy to do manly damage when standing up too fast using the Boeing yoke. Definitely, Dougal. I hear you. The flight stick has 2 axes for throttle, etc. Pretty nice round package for not too much money, Zippy says. I was going back in the chat there. I got distracted. Gustavo's here, man. Good to see you, dude. You're also really going to want rotor pedals if you're going with the yoke. You don't have to go pedals with a stick. That's a good point, Buckeye Fly. I'm dealing with that at my home setup. I have a little sim that I have set up at the house now, just kind of for getting streams prepped. It's not a very powerful PC, but it runs default Microsoft Flight Sim really well. And I now moved my Thrustmaster yoke to my house, but I don't have any pedals, so I have to use the twist axis on my TCA Alpha, and then the Thrustmaster yoke. You need pedals when you go to a yoke. You really, you do need pedals, or else you don't need it, but don't expect to land on centerline without them. All right, let's look at our arrival here. So we're going to be on the Larlo 2 Alpha. I tell you what, for ease of use, let's go direct to Larlo. Alright, so, and I'm also going to load up the arrival. What arrival were we going to do in Mexico City? We're going to do the 5 right Zulu from 901, or from Volan. We'll do it from Volan. Yes, we're going to, Volan is the fix. So Zulu, 5 right, Volan, execute, legs, next page, Larlo, Volan. We're going to sync those up. Absolutely beautiful. We need to cross Larlo. Let's make it between 23 and 26. So if I go direct to Larlo now, a little bit overspeed, bring that power back. We're going to go direct Larlo right now. We're 200 miles out. We need to cross it at, for making it easy, let's call it 23,000. We're at 28. That's 5, 10, 15. Oh yeah, so we got some time. We can chill now for a little bit. We're in cruise, bringing that power back. We're going direct Larlo, 200 miles from Larlo. That's a view right there. Do you reduce the autopilot bank angle limit in cruise to make things smoother? I don't, but you probably should. Is there a bank angle limit on the 146? I wasn't aware of that. I don't think there is a bank angle limit on the 146. But on airplanes such as the Lear, yeah, for sure. Once you get up above like 35. No, the star's in there, Team Vodka. The star's in there. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Larlo 2, execute legs. Larlo, and then 2 Volans. Okay, thanks Team Vodka. Yeah, we're still direct Larlo, and the star's in there. Thank you. $250-hour move. The twist axis on the TCA, be prepared for it to break days into weeks. Oh yeah, Fritality. My TCA yoke, I only used it maybe, a handful of times on stream, and I was like, I can't fly with this. I went back to the Warthog. The roll axis, like, the axis is already broken, but the twist axis is not broken. But like, if you just put your hand on the stick, it triggers, like, maximum deflection flickering already. Like, something's already broke inside. So it's unusable in regular axes, but the twist axis, fingers crossed, are still working. That's why you need 2 pilots in the cockpit. Yeah, that or 1 pilot that's not streaming trying to read a chat. What would you do without your team of FOs? We'd probably be a smoking hole in the side of the mountain, Zippy Zapple. We would be a smoking hole in this mountainside right now. Looking at getting a Monster Tech. Ooh, yeah. Andre Henry, I have Monster Tech mounts for my hardcore DCS stuff. So my Verpal, and I have 3 Monster Tech mounts. I have one for my Verpal, which runs like it's an extended mount for doing a center stick. I have a Monster Tech mount for my Behemoth Wing F-18 throttle quadrant, whole like side pedestal thing. I forget what it's called. But it's basically the whole side pedestal of an F-18, or the side console of an F-18. I have that on a Monster Tech mount. And I also have a Monster Tech mount for my throttles, which I don't know where those are right now because I don't have any DCS stuff set up. But yeah, Monster Tech, it's a lot of money, but I mean, they make a good product. All right, we don't need to go 250 knots. I need to bring it back in there. DCS stream would be, yeah, the Taurus, yeah, the Super Taurus Orion, that's what I have. I use the Warthog for stick and TCA only for steering. Yep. That's what I do at the house. What rudder pedals are you ordering to deliver at home to justify to SV1? Gustavo, I don't have any plans to order additional rudder pedals for the house sim. I don't fly it enough to like. I don't fly my sim really off stream. I just don't have time for it. I only set it up. I only use it now because I can set up streams and make thumbnails without having to come to the office, which is an hour round trip. So it's just a huge time saver. But yeah, I don't use it enough to invest in another set of rudder pedals for the home sim. Although there's some serious terrain. You have the same roll axis problem? Yeah. Yeah, the MFG crosswinds, that's what I have. I love them. MFG crosswinds are... I feel like the MFG crosswinds are the honeycomb Bravo of pedals. Like, they're super adaptable. I really, really recommend that you get the dampener system with your crosswinds. Because with the twist of a little screw, I can make them completely springless. So I can use them like anti-torque pedals for helicopter flying. You could change out the pedals from anything from a Cessna 172 pedal to an Airbus pedal to F-16 pedals. You can crank the tension all the way down, make them very stiff, but with a dampener system, they don't spring back to neutral, so they're still extremely smooth. They're just, in my opinion, the MFG crosswinds are the honeycomb Bravo of pedals. They're just very adaptable. Next thing you know, Ms. V1 will be joining in on the home sim. Yeah. Been in meetings all day, but have we butchered Aviaxa yet? When are we getting to Ms. V1 helicopter pilot stream? Hey, AJ, appreciate you, man. 15 months of support. We did butcher Aviaxa. Yeah, we had that. We had an issue. We filed the 3-letter ICAO incorrectly, and we butchered Aviaxa a couple times. As far as her doing a helicopter pilot stream, soon, TM. After the next podcast. Andre, yeah, if you don't have the dampener, oh yeah, man, how much, I know they sell it separate. I'm not sure how much it is separate because I bought it with mine and it's been so long ago, but I highly recommend it, man. Highly, highly recommend the dampener system. Alright, we're up at a speed I want. Now let's set a normal torque here, or normal N1. Let's see if we leave it right about 90. I think 820 is like our limit ITT, right? I'm going to shoot for about an 820 ITT here. So right about there. I could put it in TGT hold, but then that can screw you when you go down on descent. So we'll just leave it in sync mode for right now. I'm going to try 89. Let's try 89.5-ish. Might be a little fast. Add it to your calendar, AJ. Might be trees in the PC-12. Oh, Canadian, that was something, man. Dude, that PC-12 stream in Colombia, that was wild, man. That was absolutely wild. I saw the 346 at O'Hare about 2 years ago. What 346? V1 about to fly on a 346-600. Super excited. Such a rare plane. Hey, that's awesome, man. Florida Wings. You on Lufthansa? Is that a Lufthansa 346? I would love to have one in the sim. In the BAE, just go barber pole mode. That's what I'm doing, Canadian. I'm barber poling it. We're right there, barber pole. I think that'll be a good power setting right there. Let's take some outside view looks. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Let's go outside, take a gander. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can get some it is what's today? Mardi Gras? Let's get some Mardi Gras tunes in here. Trying to find a better view. I don't know what view I like better. The head-on view is pretty sweet, but we got that artifacting because frame gen. It's a pretty good view right there. Juice. About halfway down, we're going to start prepping for our descent. It'll be quite the tricky approach, so we got to make sure we brief our descent. You know, V1 Tolis has a 346. I do know that, AJ. They're out of stock of the dampeners? Ah, bummer. Yeah, when they come back in stock, though, Thrust said, I highly recommend them, man. It just gets rid of that, not toy feel, but like rudder pedals, real rudder pedals, no matter what airplane, they don't just spring back around, you know, they don't spring back to zero. I mean, they return to neutral, they return to zero, but it's not springy and bouncy, and the dampener takes that all away, and you can adjust the dampening strength too. So, yeah, highly recommend it. It will change the game on your rudder pedals. What are your thoughts on Latin VFR releasing a 340-300? Wake me when it's out, and then I'll take it for a spin. We'll look at it. I can't comprehend O'Hare not being Orlando. When I see ORD, I don't really think about O'Hare. Really? I can't comprehend Orlando being ORL. When I see ORL, I'm like, what is that? It's MCO. That music slaps. You like that one, Zippy? Mike, you like that too? Mike, I hope I didn't see if you were back, but I saw that your my alerts were off for your bank angle check. Appreciate you, man. I got back to it eventually, but about 15 minutes late. With this music, I feel like I'm watching an episode of Narcos. Oh, what do we got going on here? What is this? Canadian, yeah, you like those HF aerials, huh? What is this? Dirty dishes in the sink. National Anthem Mexico. I'm on the website, damn surgeon stock 50. Oh. Flying a broken set of Satek pedals I've had for 18 years. Hey, Thrust set. I know exactly what you mean, man. I had my broken Sateks for probably 10 years before I switched them out. I went to the MFGs. I had the broken Sateks as well, man. It'll be game-changing, Thrust set. Game-changing. Canadian, thanks for the 2 months of support, dude. To be honest, in Canada, nothing makes sense. Like how YUL means Montreal, YYZ, Toronto. Oh, yeah, I know. 10 months to go, Canadian. Appreciate all the support, dude. Yeah, I remember we did our little Canada stream up a while ago. And I couldn't understand it either.
Keeping up memberships, so this just a small thank you for all the fun over the years.
Hey, Dougal McTavish dropping a $50 bank angle check. Hey, Dougal, appreciate you, man. Dougal, it's been, I don't know how many years, 5 years? You've been around since the day one. Appreciate all the support, man. Always a pleasure having you hanging around. I hope you're well. Hope the wife is good. And it's always a pleasure to have you on the streams, my man. So appreciate all the support. Positive rates. Dougal McTavish, one of the OGs. OGs here at the V1 channel. El Gringo. We might have to turn the seatbelt sign back on. What's our distance? We're 110 miles. So once we get about 50 more miles here, and then we'll start briefing, and we'll start coming down. Oh, look at that shot! I like that. I like the front view here of the engines. So you see both engines. Makes me want to fly a 7.4, but you guys won't vote for it. I cannot believe the 748 came in last for the poll for the members. How do you guys not vote 747? Y'all are crazy. Gamma Skies by Mexico. Which one was that? The first one? Oh, that was the second one. Yeah. This is the one without the lyrics. I don't really like lyrics on the background music because it's like someone talking in my ear when I'm trying to talk. We got a better playlist than that. Mardi Gras playlist. Let's see. We'll let this one play out and then we'll play some Mardi Gras playlist. This is just basically a beat. How do you not vote for the Lear? Oh, Bomb Tech, I agree. The Lear and the 7.4 were the last two. It was Lear and 7.4 came in last. I could not believe it. You guys are just love 737s and A320s. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. You need to give us a long hauler for the 748. Well, I was going to do a long haul on the 748 if y'all would have voted for it, but no one votes for it. You're like, nah, I want to see 737-800 American Airlines Dallas to Tulsa. No, I want to see Delta A320 Atlanta to Orlando. Like, we could fly an Amerijet -300 cargo into some sketchy dirt strip in the hills of Columbia, but you'd rather see me take a 320 into the 10,000-foot runway in Orlando. I'll never get it. Never understand. I missed some ATC calls a few nights ago because I was grooving to One True God. Nice. Check if they have New Orleans Trad Jazz. Let me see what we got. Would you ever consider just do good old VFR type flying, like Pilot Edge type stuff? Oh yeah, John, we've done it multiple times on this channel. We're gonna doing some of that next. Nah, not really vibing with that one. Nope. Get behind this one for a minute. So, if you want to see no magenta line stuff, we're going to have a little bit of magenta, but later this evening, 5 p.m. Eastern, an airplane we've never flown live on this channel, Transall C-160, or I'm sorry, people get triggered when I say that. It's the C-160 Transall. I titled it Transall C-160, and there was about a dozen comments on the video that I released a year ago now. Well, it's not that. It's not a Transall. It's a C-160 by Transall. Anyway, it's a good airplane. We're going to fly it tonight live, 5 Eastern. We're going to make a round-robin trip out of Dutch Harbor. So we're taking off out of Dutch Harbor. We got to fly over towards Cold Bay. We're going to do an airdrop. 2 VBLs. What are they like? They're like German armored vehicles. We're gonna do an airdrop on both of those. Then we're gonna fly our way back. We'll probably magenta line it on the way back, a little bit of both because the terrain up there, and it has a new FMS system, which is pretty cool. So I want to show how the FMS works. But then once we get back to Dutch, there's no magenta line. We're doing an NDB circling approach in a Transall going back into Dutch Harbor. It should be an absolute spice fest. So I hope you all tune in for that one. If you stay tuned for the end of the stream, it should automatically throw you forward to that one. But I'm excited for it. I got to make a dedicated profile for the C-160 on that. I want for force feedback. I want to see if I can get it to work. That one, it's very interesting. I'm excited to make a force feedback profile for it because the airplane itself, the trim is linked to the yoke. That's all it is. It just moves the yoke. So I can really make an accurate representation with the CLS to Sim software for the Transall. So I haven't even tried it yet, but I know just from programming other profiles, because there's different ways to set trim and all that stuff. But the Transall is one of those birds where literally trim is just moving the yoke and setting the yoke, and you can actually see it in the cockpit, how it mechanically links together. So I can't wait to make a profile for that. But that should be a fun flight. We're going to fly up towards Cold Bay, intercept a VOR radial, a DME for the drop, and then RTV back to Dutch for an NDB Alpha. Would you ever consider just... Oh, I already read that. Been a while since it's been the 748. I know, Aviator Nick. I know. No one voted for it. I couldn't believe it. I hope you give X-Plane 12 some love soon, and the Zebo looked amazing yesterday. Hey, I caught the tail end of XP's stream. Man, he talked about us. He saved that one going into San Diego. That was almost a smasher. But he saved it, buttered it on. Absolute juicy approach. Why did this repeat? But, yeah, I watched that. It looked good. It did look good. X-Plane is... Look. I don't have the time to make my X-Plane look good. So, therefore, I just can't... I gotta have a reason to get in there and fly it again. I don't have the time to sit there and do ortho and all this nonsense. I don't have the time for it. But... if you put the time in, like I've seen on XP streams, it looks good. He's got good quality ortho sets. It looks good. It feels like what you heard at Abercrombie in the mall. Do people still shop at Abercrombie, Bosco? Ay, ay, ay. Alexa Rastas, lurker from Finland, 34 months, almost 3 years. Alexa Rastas, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. 34 months in. Fantastic. Thank you for the support. Hope you continue to enjoy and continue to lurk in the background. I appreciate you. Jeremy Harvey in the house. Good to see you, man. How are you? Jeremy, V1 says, or he says, V1, are there lots of good profiles available? Jeremy, there's really not. Well, I say that. I've only downloaded 2, and a lot of the ones up there are made on CLS versions that aren't the current one. I think my profiles are one of the few that are made specifically on the current software version of CLS to Sim. So I haven't really given it a fair shot of downloading other people's profiles. I downloaded maybe 2 or 3. And the reason I did that was I just wanted to see like what the differences were, what they had programmed to help me learn the system. But now that I am getting better with making profiles, I feel like I can make them pretty accurate with, as long as I have a good understanding of how the airplane hand flies. Is it a fly-by-wire aircraft? Does it have, force trim? Like what kind of hydraulic boosted flight controls does it have? As long as I can get that information, I feel like I can make a pretty realistic profile. So I've been just using my own. So I've uploaded the 7.8, ATR 42 and 72. I'll upload the 146 profile here probably at the end of this stream. The King Air 350 profile is almost done. I'll probably fly that a little bit more maybe tomorrow just to make sure I've got it where I want it, and then I'll upload that one. So, are you still mad about the end of Sunday? No, I wasn't. I wasn't mad. I just didn't want to see the Chiefs win again, man. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the Chiefs. Tired of them. But it was a good game. It really was. I feel like San Francisco didn't know the overtime rules. That's why they got. I mean, why would you elect to receive on overtime? You just give Patrick Mahomes 4 downs. Like, no way, dude. Kick the ball. Always kick the ball there. I don't know why they received. I feel like they weren't in tune with what they needed to be in tune with. Once you've flown over your neighborhood in Microsoft, you crave that realism. I put X-Plane 12 aside because getting it right is going to require too much of my time. Mr. Martini, yes. Here's the other thing with X-Plane 12, and I've said it before, and I'm surprised not more people say this in chat. I feel like I haven't heard many of y'all say this in chat. But my big draw, one of my big draws to Microsoft, not just because it looks good, like what you see here is 100% default, but the dynamic environment. Like, X-Plane doesn't have the dynamic environments. Even with X-Enviro or Active Sky, you don't have... I've never flown in X-Plane, whether it be X-Plane 10, 11, or 12, and felt like I've been in a live environment And when I say environment, I mean with the environmentals, clouds moving through, temperature changes, rain shafts, storms, literally watching them on the radar, watching them outside the window, go from one side of the airport across the field, lose my visual reference with the runway, and then land in the rain, and then after landing, the storm has moved on past the field and it's no longer raining. I feel like I never experienced that in X-Plane, but that is such a realism factor for me that I love it. I'm so drawn to it. So I honestly say, the reason I am in Microsoft so much, 99.9% of the time, is because A, it's 50% the dynamic environment, and 50% I don't have to spend a dime other than airplanes and airports. Everything is default. So I don't need to spend time or money in making it look good. So those are my reasons I stay in Microsoft. I mean, yeah, you could flare a little bit nicer, but at this point, the devs in Microsoft are starting to get it. The good developers, JustFlight being one of them. You saw the shorts video I did in the F-28. I mean, you want to go flight model X-plane. Okay, go. What more do you want from the F-28 when you land on one wheel, so smooth, the strut doesn't even compress until the lift dumpers deploy? Then the left strut compresses first, then the right strut compresses first, and you can see how it works when I'm using the rudder. Like, that's as good as, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's as good as X-Plane. So the developers are starting to figure out how to make these really good flight models. That was the last leg X-Plane had to stand on. That's what everyone argues. Oh, but the flight model this, but the flight model that. It's already showing up in Microsoft. It's already there. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. How are we doing? 19 miles? All right, we got to go to work, chat. We got to go to work. It's time to go back to work. Let's pause the music. Let's bring it up. Environmentals are awesome. I landed Lear into Aberdeen just as a rainstorm cleared the field to the west. See, multi-2sim? That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Matt K, good to see you. Cap, just got done with my first ever airline interview with United Aviate. Hey, awesome. Took some of the questions you recommended and wanted to say thank you for those. Hey, Matt K, awesome stuff, man. Hopefully you'll hear something back soon. And I'm glad I was of some help. I appreciate you coming back here and giving us an update, man. May you have the best of luck with your future, chasing after the airplane or the airline. I guess it'd be the airline dream, right? You want to fly good into United Aviate, you want to fly for United, you want to be part of the airline. So heck yeah, man, that's awesome stuff, dude. Happy to hear it. All right, we're going to set 230 right now. I know that was our initial altitude for this. I got 230 is set. I'm going to do an IAS hold. So I'm going to select IAS mode. I'm going to bring the power back a tad. And she's going to nose over. It's going to be choppy on the descent. Let's get our seatbelt sign on. We're going to ride this down to 230. All right, we don't have true VNAV, so we got to be on top of it. 23 and 26 at Larlo. We're going to be fine there. After Larlo, we got 18 at MX771 at or below, and then a hard altitude at 773 at 17,000. So as soon as we level at 23, I'm going to set 17,000, and then we'll set up for a descent going down into the rest of the arrival here. The only reason I sometimes use X-Plane 12 is the CL650. Best plane out for sure. Oh yeah, McAllen, the 650, it's similar. It's what I would equate is the Comanche and Microsoft. So you get, with the Comanche and Microsoft, you're paying for a general aviation experience. You're not paying for a Piper Comanche experience. You're paying for the entire experience of owning and operating a Piper or a Comanche. Same thing with that CL650. You pay a pretty penny, $100, right? But you are paying for the corporate pilot experience, which is so much more than just turning the batteries on, linking your SimBrief flight plan, and hitting Toga. The corporate pilot experience is very hard to capture, and Hotstart did a great job with that 650. There's no doubt about it. I only flew it once or twice on stream, but 100% worth it. I mean, I paid for it just like y'all did. So, and even with as few times as I've flown it, 100% worth it. They did a fantastic job at capturing the corporate pilot experience. I wish we could have that. Oh man, if we had that with like the Sovereign, or not the Sovereign, what? Yeah, we have the Longitude. Man, if we had that in Microsoft, could you imagine? Whoo, buddy. Did you see the directive from the FAA to use analog navigation aids because of GNSS spoofing? No, I did not. Did not see that, Jeremy. I have been jammed before, though. It has happened to me several times. Alright, we're going to hit 17,000, so I'm going to go ahead, well, we already descended through that because I didn't arm the altitude. Nice job. Pro pilot move there. Alright, 17,000, arm you. Altitude is armed. We are proceeding to MX 771, which is here below 18. We'll be fine there. We can handle the rest of this. Let's take a look at this ILS Zulu runway 5 approach. We got to dial her in here. 109.1 is the low course, so let's go ahead and set that up. It's already auto-tuned. 109.1, gotta love it. 109.1 on here as well to back me up. 109.1 is set both sides. Final approach course for the 5 right is 055 degrees. There we go. So much easier with shift. There we go. 055. I'll do the same over here. Yeah, it's not like the Lear where you have to sit there for 42 minutes, right? Ice detected. That's not good. Let's go ahead and start outside in. We'll go tail and inner wing on and outer wing. That's going to give us a... I'm going to go descent. So that'll give us enough juice to run the icing. I don't know why we're getting that. It's just Microsoft icing. 17,000, there's our level off. Magic Barrel Ref, we're still at standard. Alright, that is all good. As far as DAs go, it's a 274 for decision altitude. 274, so we can set that as a DH. We'll call it 270. Decision height. 17,000. Let's go ahead and bring the power in there. We'll come down about 275 knots. We are 12 miles from 771. After 771, we're going to pick up this arrival here. Oh yeah, so we're good. We've got a little ways to go until we're going direct to Ernok, which will be at 14,000. So Ernok will be at 14,000. We're level. Coming here about 270 knots. Is center back online? I need to call him again. Let me make sure where we're at with that. Nope, center's offline still, so we're safe. We'll make some radio calls though, because there's a couple guys in Mexico City. Somebody's getting ready to go down to Brazil in an A350-900, and there's someone landing in a 738. Maybe it's Blue Games. I know he's flying for Aeromexico right now in his pilot career. Alright, get the power in there a little bit more. 17,000 is set, power is set. We don't need to start the APU just yet. We'll leave the seatbelt sign on though. That all looks good. I think we can let's turn terrain mode on. I forget if I go map mode. Oh, check this out. What? That's pretty cool. I don't think we have terrain display though. I put it on weather. There's no weather to paint, so we'll leave it on map mode though. That's pretty cool. I didn't know we had that. That's definitely cheating. Alright, everything looks good. We are LNAV. We're about to hit our waypoint. We're still in RNAV mode. We're looking good. Landing on 5. Let's get an updated weather. Let's come back here. Let's go to our OFP. I always forget how nice this EFB is for the Just Flight birds. I know I always say the fly-by-wire fly pad's good too. This one, I think this is just as good as the fly pad, honestly. Right now, destination weather, winds are 50 degrees at 5 knots right down the pipe. Good viz. Temperature is 62 Fahrenheit, 3037 or 1028 on the millibars. Let me hit the magic barrel ref T. We're still out a ways, so we'll keep it as is right now. Alright. Getting ready. Isn't he now on the 7.8? Yeah, I think so, Canadian. I think he's on a 7.8. I've been watching all those videos he's put out. They're pretty cool, man. I just realized I was way behind on the live. Sure V1, the checklist have helped me learn several aircraft that Microsoft would have never thought possible. Oh, yeah. Pac-Man. Well, welcome to real time. And, yeah, the checklists. I know XP72 is allergic. He's got a certified allergen to checklists. But they will help you learn airplanes, no doubt. Especially the ones that have the interactive checklists that allow you to look around the cockpit or highlight the switches. For airplanes like the 146, I mean, when you just look at this cockpit, I mean, there's a lot going on here. There is a lot going on here with this cockpit. So having that highlight function is really cool. Bring it back, bring it back. I don't think we need our ice on anymore, so let's go ahead and kill it. Ice is coming off, and I will come off descent mode. I'm just going to go back to N1 sync mode. So if you are descending in icing conditions, though, on your TMS and you're in the descent, you want to have this DESC selected because it'll basically limit how low you can go with the power so you can still run your anti-ice. It's kind of like, what is the 200? He's like 50% thrust. Something crazy like that. Just after a while, it comes so easy, like you mentioned. Yep, exactly. You get in a pattern, understanding of what you need to do when you need to do it. All right, 3008 is set. We are MX775. Our next altitude is going to be 14,000, but only after 7.7. So we still have a hard altitude at MX77. So we're going to keep that hard altitude in there. On speed, we're looking good. Looking good. Could you currently safely land a 146 in real life like an emergency? Yeah, I think so. Gosh, I'd hope I'd be able to land any airplane in an emergency. I mean, I'm an ATP-rated airline pilot. I would hope that no matter what airplane I was in, I'd be able to at least put it down safely. As long as it does the same thing. Push the stick forward, houses get bigger. Pull the stick back, houses get smaller. As long as it does that, I feel like I can get any bird down safely in an emergency. May not be pretty. Alright, that looks good there. Next time you're in a 7.3 Max, oh gosh. Luckily I haven't had to be on any Maxes. Luckily I haven't had to be on any 737s. I don't really deadhead anywhere. If we gotta go somewhere, we drive, because last thing I want to do is go flying on my days off. I'd rather fly virtually. Great live and love the plane. It really is amazing, and it's my favorite. Though, how do you get the interactive checklist? And then Nuke Oblivion will make sure your checklist option is on here. Shift C by default. And once you pop this up, it's by default. JustFlight has this included by default. And it will, you can tick items and move through. So like, let's go ahead as we're getting close here. All right, so now we're going to be going down to 14,000. So I'm going to set 14. And we will outsell IAS hold 250. That looks good. I'm going to bring the power back. I'm going to put my bug at 250. We're going down to 14,000. So let's run through this checklist. PTU, let's go ahead. Oh, I didn't mean to start the APU. The PTU on. PTU on, pressurization. We're going to run that down a little bit here. down the landing elevation, which I think is like... Well, actually, we could have left it, I think, right? This one's weird. I can't remember how to do this one. Let's bring it back to 0. We'll come down. We might submarine it. We'll see what happens. Cabin is descending, though. So PTU is on. We'll tick that pressurization, briefing, landing data, and bugs. I'll set those right now. So how we set those, since our flip chart options are enabled, we're going to do a 133 landing at 115. I'm going to click that. Our speed bugs are now set for 115 knots on the VREF. Looks like we did a little S-turn here over this arc. That's never very comforting. We're still in LNAV mode. What's going on here? This bird is definitely more enjoyable flown VOR to VOR. I think this is the first stream, or one of the few streams we've done when we use the default FMS. I like using VOR mode, but I kind of wanted to give it a shot just to see where it stood in its present state. All right, we're 250 on the speed, 15 for 14,000. Magic Barrel Ref's key says 30.6 on the meter. There's our 1,000 to go. We are looking good. What's going on down there? It's like a powdered sugar field down there. Mexico City, surprise, surprise. Is Autoland taking a 320 Neo used in real life? Flew into Newark this morning. Horrible weather. Couldn't see the runway until 300 feet above it. Oh yeah, King's Bob. Well, 300 feet is still Cat 1 ILS. You go down 200.5 mile. But yeah, they can do Autolands for sure. Statui, good to see you, man. 15 months. 15 months, man. Appreciate the support, Statui. Thanks for hanging around. Nanook, yeah, VOR to VOR is changing courses and frequencies. That's all it is. Not basically, that is what it is. VOR to VOR flying is course changes and frequency changes. Let me get flight recorder up in the red eye. Flight recorder's coming online. Ooh, there's our level at 14,000. Make sure you get your power back in when you level here. We'll still maintain. I won't go all the way for 250. We're getting close. What do you prefer, the Babe or the bus? Oh, the Babe, Dale. In SimWorld? Heck yeah, man. In SimWorld, I'm all about fun airplanes. It's y'all that want to see Airbus. If I could, I'd have a channel dedicated to everything but 737s and A320s. Okay, Volan is coming up. Volan, we're 14. Volan is at 11. At or above 12.5, and then we're going right into the ILS Zulu 5, and then we'll probably hand fly it, but we're starting to get choppy up in here. So I'm going to dial in 11,000. Altitude arm, IAS hold, about 250 knots. Down we go. Kind of fly up and into this bowl. Mexico City is pretty unique flying in here. I mean, it's almost like you're landing on a I don't know how you would explain it really. Like, Mexico City is kind of in a bowl, but the whole bowl is on top of a volcano. Not really, but that's what if I were to describe it. And this is like we're just got to fly up this terrain, because I mean, if you look back, I mean, that's getting down towards sea level over there. Come up here. All right, we are MX 741 Ernock to 741. Volna's at 11, 12.5 for the next one at 0.6, so we're going to be right on it. Nice shallow descent. There we go. There's a nice straight course line. Christy's here. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Look what the cat dragged in. Oh, Christy Ionscu. Steam gauges, DABs, and VORs in the 172. Heck yeah, Donald. Just Flight Airliners look absolutely amazing, but have you tried the Piper Arrow? I have, Joe. I have the Piper Arrow. I've got all of them. The turbo, the non-turbo. Yeah, I've got a ton of Just Flight airplanes. I love Just Flight. I would put them. Honestly, I think Just Flight might be the top dev for Microsoft because of the variety of airplanes they have. I mean, but I guess because Black Square technically is, well, Just Flight would be the publisher, and Black Square is another dev. But I mean, they have the variety that they have. It's hard to beat. You know, PMDG, yeah, you get a 737. You got to pay for the 800, pay for the 900, pay for the 700, 600. The BAE-146, you buy this, you get the 100, 200, 300, 200 combi, 300 combi, 300 freighter. Like, why isn't JustFlight talked about like PMDG and Fenix? I don't know. Yesterday was a hard day, not opening anything until I saw the Super Bowl replay started too late for me. Oh, Christian. Ah. Well, yeah, you didn't, I mean, pretty predictable outcome. All right. We are getting ready to join the final. I'm going to go ahead and select heading. I'm going to go heading mode. And we're going to go nav 1 and back to this. Let's join her up. I'm going to select heading 030. And to join the final, approach fix is at 9,700. So we got to keep coming down. It is a bumpy ride in here today. Bumpy ride. Bring that power back. Join the loc.
Localizer armed. Localizer captured.
Alright, here we go. Time to go to work, chat. Sounds are coming up. Stereo cockpit mode. Let's get a little speed brake action in here. We are high on slope. We are way high here. Mexico City traffic. Aviaxa 357, about a 10-mile final, runway 05 right. Mexico City traffic.
Speed checked below 205. Select flaps 18.
Flaps 18 selected. Gears coming down next. What's our final approach fix altitude? 8,900. Oh, I can see the runway.
Autopilot disconnected.
Let's go BAE mode on them. That came up quick. This always gets me. I always think I'm further out. We might have to inhibit our descent. We got our speed brake full out. I'm going to go ahead and kill the flight directors. Runway 05 right is in sight.
Sync brake.
Check. Sync brake, check.
Speed check below 145.
Sync brake, check.
Select flap 33.
33 selected. We're catching up to it.
Sync
We're
brake.
catching up to it. Check. Sync brake, check. 1,000 feet. Vertical speed
Sync
coming
brake.
below 2,000. We are now stable. Runway's in sight.
Sync brake.
Check. What?
Full up.
No
Full
way, bro.
up.
We're half dot high. Get out of here with that. What? No way.
Minimums.
Get out of here with that jit
Light
whiz.
slopes alive. 1 dot to go.
We're low now.
Light slope.
Oh, jeez, we're all over the place.
$50. $40. $30. $90. $10.
Ground idle. Yellow and green spoilers.
Golly.
Brake pressure seen. 80 knots.
We got GPS jammed on that V2 plus 10.
60 knots.
Did on the tequila during cruise? 241? No way. No way was that 241. That was a juicer. I think right is domestic. Man, that was, gosh, why do I do that every time coming in here? We just get to chat, and then I never, I'm always behind. Are you serious? Guys, I started a replay, but I never actually started replaying. Are you kidding me? Well, we're cleaned up. Let's go ahead and taxi the ramp. Taxi. It's weird. I clicked it. But it never started recording frames. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe it did. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it did. We'll see what happens here. Can't mess up the playback. I know. All right, so we'll head on down to over here. Second leg? No, we're doing a second stream later this evening, though. We're doing a second leg in the trans hall. Mike. Oh, I didn't forget. I clicked it. So I clicked on record, but it normally shows you like the track that's recording. It doesn't have any of that. So I don't think it actually recorded. Alright, everything else looks good. Look at the APU air on. I should have had engine air off for that landing, probably. In case we had to go around. Take my little hair dryers to the gate. I'm gonna have to minimize the bumps on the taxiway for the yoke. I don't think it would be quite that noticeable. Actually, maybe we were supposed to go left. There's Aero Mexico. I'll tell you what, since we forgot the replay, let's just take it right into the hangar. Let's take it right into the hangar since we forgot the replay. Look at, there's someone, that's an Aviaxka in that hangar over there. That's pretty funny. Let's take this one into the hangar. We're ashamed, so we're gonna just hide ourselves over here. Oh, can we fit? I don't know if we can fit in here. We're just gonna hide ourselves. We pretend that never happened. Ooh. Fold your wingtips. Like a glove. Like a glove. That's all coming down. That's all. Kill all of that. Generator 1 and 4 is also offline. Off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mexico City. Let me see here what happens. I don't think it will. Nope. There's no replay to replay. Charter flight, tech log, replay in-op. Let me guess, GSX. There you go.
Boarding requested.
I guess we'll deplane. No replay needed. That sucks. Sorry, guys. I did not think that was a 240 either, so I wanted to see what that looked like. The high density altitude, though, got me. We got behind. We got behind, and we got... let's see. Gotta come up here, and we'll go ahead and entry light, wing lights off, and no smoking, beacon, strobes are off. And we don't need you. That's off. We'll shut her on down. Well. It's kind of awkward. Rookie mistake. No, it wasn't even a mistake. I clicked record. But I've noticed since I've run frame gen, like I guess sometimes when I hit record, if I'm not, maybe if I've clicked on something else, like maybe I've clicked on OBS or I've clicked on the chat box and then I click on record, it doesn't register the sim. So I have to like have my mouse click on the sim monitor and then click record. Because I definitely clicked record. I know I did. I just didn't verify. Well, look at the train in the background. This is a sweet little airport. What can we fly out of Mexico City in our next stream after the Transall stream? Maybe we have to take the 737 out of Mexico City. I don't know. Ooh, do 747s fly out of here? Maybe we can do a giant cargo out of here. 747-8 cargo out of Mexico City. That would be pretty spicy. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up with this one, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry we don't have anything to watch on the landing. I wanted to have some good excuses to see why it was a 241, but it is what it is. We got her down. We dragged it in low and slow. We came across the freaking numbers at like 20 feet, but hey, what can you expect from the defunct Aviaxa? Maybe that's why they never flew the 146 into here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the support. Dougal, thank you for the support. Mike P, Team Vodka, thank you for all the membership milestone chats. AJ9, thanks for the bank anchor checks. I appreciate y'all. If you want to see something extra special, though, the one I'm even more excited about, it'll be here at 5 o'clock Eastern, going out of Dutch Harbor, Alaska. It's going to be a totally different weather experience than what we're seeing right now in Mexico City. So until that one, y'all stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon, and we'll catch you here in a couple hours. I'm V1.